here between these two parties as the former president sees now.
Okay, and how many?
For me, it means that the fishery stakeholders across the U.S. have lost a voice. We've lost our access to the agency that governs our livelihoods if we're commercial fishermen. We've lost the ability to ensure that governance is responsive to what's actually happening out in the ecosystem, what's happening in the market, and what's happening, in our industry. We've got these really fast-changing fishery ecosystems where, this used to be where we are right now, used to be the hot spot for the lobster resource back in the 90s. People were making money hand over fist, and now, that stock has migrated up to down East Maine, and it's on its way to Canada. We've had an influx of all kinds of new species on the boat I work on here. All of the species we catch are mid-Atlantic: bluefish, scup, sea bass, and we increasingly see southern fish like cobia in our nets. So this is probably the worst time to shut down, any capacity at NOAA, especially in the science end of what they do. We just need as many, eyes on the ecosystem as we can get.
The charter business in general, or any fisherman, commercial or recreational, relies on NOAA data. A lot of it's weather. They're our primary weather source. I look at NOAA-based data related to weather at least 3 times a day in this industry. That's what we do. We follow the weather closely. And then their stock assessments, the work with stock assessments, affects our fishery in quotas and in bag limits on an annual basis. The work that they do regulates our industry in that what we can and cannot fish for, what times a year, how many we can take, how many, the quota, how many pounds per state or how many pounds per fishery. That's all important data that they supply, which is necessary to actually have a sustainable. It shouldn't be partisan when it's about sustainability, because the sustainability equals economic success. Period. End of story. So how do you achieve sustainability of the resource? You're never going to make everybody happy. But for the love of God, can we learn from our mistakes in the past? Pick any fishery, striped bass. There was a moratorium on at one point because they were overfished. Same thing with redfish. Redfish were decimated at one point, and it took management to bring those numbers back. So let's be smart about it. Sustainability equals economic success at the end of the day, and you need the data, and you need organizations like NOAA to help that process.
Point Judith completely relies on the squid fishery. Every other fishery is pretty much shut down to the point you might be able to participate in other fisheries part of the year, but none of them are enough to keep you going all year. Point Judith is still thriving because of the squid, and like I said, I don't know exactly what it is, but the federal managers for the squid fishery is another thing that's supposed to be slashed, and without them, when do the seasons open? When do they decide how much quota is caught? Will it be a free-for-all?